Hi everyone, welcome to this particular podcast. We would like to wish our viewers a happy World Maritime Day. As you know, this year the theme is navigating the future, ship first. From the previous episodes, if you know, we have invited the seafarers to voice out about safety, about their thoughts on safety. But today, we have with us maritime professionals. They are here to share with us about their insights, about their opinions. And I have with me three very wonderful and amazing individuals. I would like to introduce them myself, but I will introduce myself first and then I will hand it over to them. So my name is Nellisa. I am currently serving as a port engineer and I'm also representing the SMOU as the Vice President.
3, 2, 1, talk to me.
An SMOU production.
Hi, I'm Alvin, the Executive Secretary of SMOU. So I'm also in the Industrial Relations Division, handling the collective bargaining for seafarers policies, as well as the handling of disputes between seafarers and their employers. Tariq?
Hi, I'm Captain Hari, and I work for the Shipowners P&I Club, and with a lot of focus basically on seafarers' well-being. The club is giving a lot of spotlight on that. So, hence, I get to do things I love, and I get paid for it as well. I also wear another hat. I'm the chair of the Nautical Institute in Singapore, and due to that, I mean, combined with the ideals of the club as well, I get to do a lot for the industry, and I get to work with these lovely people on a daily basis. So, thank you for the opportunity, SMOU. Siti.
Hi, I'm Siti. I'm the regional manager for IBIA, the International Bunker Industry Association. I think at my current role, I'm more driving strategic initiatives in the Asia region for marine fuels. But my exposure with seafarers have been in my previous role at SSE. So I think at that point, the most memorable thing I did was the Seafarers Vaccination Center. So yeah, so happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alvin, Captain Hari, and Siti for introducing yourself. So I will start the ball rolling. So since this year theme is safety, so let's talk about physical safety. So the first question that I ask you is, can you share some of the latest initiatives and measures that maritime leaders are implementing to ensure the physical safety of seafarers on board?
Me? Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Maybe I think right now, when it comes to IBIA, we see a lot of one of our key initiative in is training. So we see a lot of these increased training, like using ERs, VRs, and I think that's one of the important thing that we should embrace technology to make the seafarers actually feel comfortable, or at least put them through a situation like real life situation, and so that they can know how to respond to emergency, they can know how to react accordingly. So I think one of the aspects of physical safety is just to embrace technology using through training. Yeah. I don't know about this.
I think that's quite interesting because you've touched on that. So, even as a club, we insure 35,000 ships. Small ships, but still a number. We are the largest insurer in number of ships. So, we get a lot of statistics in terms of claims. And in my role, I do analysis of this to see, and a bit of a root cause analysis. It's very important for us to see what's broken. We have this habit of quickly going and trying to fix things, tick the box because, and then finally it kind of defeats the purpose. It's not required. It's quite stressful for the seafarers when we try to generalize initiatives and it's missing the target. You would know, I mean, sometimes it just comes in. Seriously, I mean, this is completely uncalled for. But I mean, when coming down to these new age technologies, I mean, there was a lot of criticism that suppose you're going and doing, say, firefighting, you're in a firefighting module. So unless you feel the heat of that fire, it's not the same, as you're wearing the AR and VR. It's very realistic, but you don't feel the fire burning underneath you or around you. Yeah, no pun intended. So, but the new things that are coming up is people are thinking about having escape rooms. You can create escape rooms where you make it more of the environment is hot. Maybe you can't go up to that kind of things, but if you touch surfaces, it's warm and you have a time to kind of get out of it. It's not like you're taking your own sweet time, but you have a time that if you don't go within so and so thing, then within a few minutes, then you can consider that person as dead, and you've lost that module. And it's putting a little bit of more fun into it and making it more realistic. I think that's good because with all these new AI tools, it's become so realistic now. And with people wearing the sensors and with the cameras, you're able to pick up so much more of thought process, what goes on in the mind at that time, hesitant or not hesitant, or too confident or not. It's still work in progress, but I think we're getting there.
Yeah, I can agree. I think the entire AR and VR kind of dealing with safety issues when you're like wearing that goggles, it just places you in the environment, of course, without the heat. But you can actually also train seafarers in terms of, oh, you put some scenarios here and there, or is this a safety issue? Are you able to identify all the various issues when you walk across the cabins, for example, or even the bridge in the engine room itself? What are the places where you can highlight safety risks and any danger spots and all that? At the end of the day, when crisis really hits, I think it's all this muscle memory and all this awareness of it. It boils down to falling back on your training.
Yeah.
Right. So, yes, I do agree with our learned guest here that training is very important. Yeah.
Vessel familiarization also kind of comes to my mind, right? I mean, rather than you go on board and everything's thrown on you after a long flight, you could actually take a day or two in the office when you're briefing or something, spend some time just wearing that in a closed room and actually familiar with the layout and the escapes and the pipelines or the pump rooms. It's a very good tool you can actually have.
And the fire thing is quite interesting as well because I attended the SMA methanol handling course, and they actually make us go through the actual fire. So they actually create one or two scenarios, one inside a tank or like a culture space, and then the other is like on deck, something like that. So I think that is important. Maybe AR and VR still is up there, but this kind of like firefighting with them, I think is quite important as well.
Yeah, I agree because if you have not been there to feel the heat, it's a bit different if you are just wearing goggles and trying to put out the fire, you know. But I see that you're talking about, safety, about training, safety, this and that. But safety actually involves a lot of costing, right? So my next question is, how can ship owners and maritime companies strike a balance between cost and safety when implementing new safety measures? Like, for example, if you roll out new safety measures, there's going to be a lot of costs. And from a company's point of view, I do understand that, you are supposed to get the cost as low as possible, as you possibly can, by not giving away to, the safety level. So what are actually, the implementation that can be done?
I think one important point I like to make is, again, I'm speaking for the seafarers as well, and that's what we're here for. It's overburdening of training. You can only do so much, and sometimes it gets too onerous. I mean, I can see your smile, but I think what we should realize that for people ashore who can make that difference, who have this platform to say and make changes or maybe influence people, it's important that when we are bringing new training, there's always something becoming obsolete. We have to keep taking that obsolete stuff out, and otherwise this is just like kind of, if suppose you're when you're fixing a hole in a bulkhead,
Hi.
you don't just put a doubler on top of it. There's everything rotting underneath. Then you put one more doubler, and then it's not exactly making it stronger because the foundation is still weak. So I think we should be prepared to start taking out what is not required, the obsolete stuff, so that the focus is more on that, and you don't just keep piling on, and somebody needs to decide to kind of shorten it. So that may go a long way in keeping costs low, take out all the unnecessary stuff, and then consolidating. Because if you're coming with the new products, I think the industry drives the service providers, and you tell them, if everybody starts putting this collective pressure, that consolidate all of it into one. It should be time, not so onerous on time, so people can rest more, all those things. So it should be more focused and capture everything. So that a little bit of effort and that can solve a lot of that. But if we just start buying whatever is there on the shelf, and let people decide and say this is what it is, then I think.
But is it because I'm not sure, is it because they're not confident in the new, let's say, new training methods? Like I put an example, in Singapore, we have the SS600, which is the
Safe park principle.
safe management standards. Yeah, you do the something which is traditional, like how we speak, even though we have the mass meters already. So they still require at least the cargo officer, the bunker surveyors to be aware of the SS600. I'm not saying that SS600 is no longer relevant, but the reason why I think it is still required is because they are feel like the MFM breakdown. And then they will still have to go back to something. So is it because there's no confidence in this like new technology or training that they keep finding?
I think it's a lack of confidence in themselves also, because many people who are sitting ashore and like, okay, I'm taking this kind of thing on myself here. Some of them are outdated, I must say. They are not, so many of them are calling shots. It's been a very long time since they've been out at sea. They are not in the sync of things. You know, they've not been on board recent times. Some of them have not even sailed in the this era. They've just been getting knowledge from different sources of observing. But when you actually go there and use it and go for a voyage, you know what it is. So once people are there, like if you ask me as a trained seafarer, I would just say in today's world, okay, focus on what they need to do. If things break down on how to take it, it's really not rocket science to put. Even again, you just have to see a video once and you can do it. It's really not so complicated. You don't have to wait quality training time in a person's life to actually make them do this 10 times and give them marks with accuracy. We can actually do away with that, and these things you could just, like, you have AV on board now, you have videos, training videos, you have Wi-Fi. Anyone could just see this. It's really not that crucial that they have to life save by taking a sounding over there. It can be put onto the second level of training, and just the focus on key matters. I mean, I'm sure some old school of thought people may not agree with me, but it's moving with the times. People just keep it concise.
Yeah.
You as a sailor, I mean, do you resonate?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, because you have to keep up with the how technology. You see, because even though sometimes you're on a vessel that does not use that technology, but you need to always prepare yourself. So you need to keep up with the times and everything. And that comes down to my next question, right? So if you undergo training and everything, the company send you for training, and then you try to implement this set of safety protocols, not only to one slip, but to the rest of the fleet, you see. So how do you ensure the safety protocols are not just implemented but followed consistently across all vessels? So Abhi, would you like to go first?
I think we need to be very intentional about all these safety protocols, right? Is it in place really for the safety of seafarers in terms of training? Or is it just a checklist where you go to various ports and then when you have inspections, they come in and say that, okay, according to this paperwork, you are safe to go. But what is really important in terms of safety, I think they really need to relook at the entire checklist, right? I'm not a seafarer myself, but from the feedback I gather from our members in the union, I can sense the stress level they have in terms of making sure that all these boxes are checked, right? And when that kind of stress level comes in, a lot of different work doesn't get done. The important work that needs to be done. Right? So I can't answer the technical aspect of this, right? Because I've never sailed before in my life.
But if I can jump in,
Yeah,
and
please.
so
Yeah.
like one bee in my bonnet actually is about these rest hours and work hours.
Yeah.
We talk of minimum manning, and it's minimum manning has become like the norm. It's no longer minimum manning. I mean, a few extra people on board. I know it's a bottom line cost. Shipping is a business, and but then can you imagine having a few extra people on board? Now, suppose you're sailing with 15 or 14. I was sailing. We used to have 30 on. We used to have about 7, 8 cadets. We used to learn. We used to go through that mentoring. Yeah,
Party is like a party.
yeah, but not when you're the junior cadet. This is just a lot of push-ups for you.
But there are 4 people helping with the push-ups, you see. Right.
The mentoring. So, I mean, we grew up as a family. It was a community where we laughed together, we cried together, we grew up together, and then it was used to be a big thing. Now it's quite like silos because, I mean, it's there are not enough people, so you can't even breathe. You just have to like fly in from one to another. Otherwise, like you could do, like we were just having this chat earlier. Like if you put somebody, let's say somebody to go in between the second mate and mate, you're training somebody to become a good chief officer, but he's a senior second officer. At the same time, he's understudying the chief officer. So he's taking some stress of the second mate and the chief officer. Even for the chief officer to become master, then, or you don't have this, then you can have a senior mate and a junior mate who's going to kind of take over. So the nitty gritties can be with the junior mate, with the senior chief officers then understudying the master, helping out, and it takes some stress off the master as well. So it can serve two purposes. It's a grooming, the mentoring we talk about nowadays. It should actually be in the culture on board, and that is possible with more people. If everybody's just got from start, stop, sleep, start, stop, sleep, it's not going to happen. And I mean, there's no ship that has ever been arrested with rest hours being, out of order. This is the most perfect document on board. And you and I know for a fact that actually it's not possible to run a ship with everybody exactly following that. But yet it's perfect for every PSC inspection. And coming back to Alvin's point, so are we missing a trick by having all this thing and it's not practical? And for checking, I mean, a lot of it is incumbent on the seafarer themselves. And many of the seafarers now feel that they don't want to upset the show management. Should I just kind of just go with the flow? Or should I be the one to stand up and say, no, my crew are not rested? I'm not so sure I see those masters standing up and telling the office, they're not rested, sorry. Like, let's go anchor the ship and take some rest. Maybe, I don't know, the whole culture of growing up is not being reinforced over there. But if you have these leaders over there on board, people are empowered to do this. I've seen a couple myself in my sailing days, but nowadays WhatsApp has taken over, like it's like our own this thing. But once you have that, I think it's incumbent on the seafarers themselves to stand up and know what's good for them. And if they feel it's not doable, then I think they shouldn't make it their problem and manage somehow. But it's worth escalating within the protocols of being professional, being fair, and escalating it to the top management because they are there to manage it.
Yeah, I understand because sometimes seafarers get overworked, you see. So there's a lot of job that's being put on them, and they are also, like you mentioned, undertaking other people's role as well because they want to learn for the next position, you see. So it's very important that you get good leaders, right? Especially for management and also for the shore management. And often happens the seafarers they are tired, right? So they reported to the top management, the masters or ship engineers, what we need rest, so if there's no support from the shore management, so if they were to actually inform the shore management, oh, my crew is work, they are, stressed, they need, to rest a little bit. So if the shore management, instead of being supportive or giving other forms of idea, if they were to say, oh, if they are not fit to work, ask them to leave. So
We best advise, these people are not worth working for them.
Yeah.
And then they will be struggling to get their seafarers. We make sure, okay, fine, great idea. Let's all just go. And then they will be struggling to run their ships without seafarers. We always have a choice, don't we?
yes, you're right.
So just to add on to your point in terms of reporting to the company, you can have with me a tablet. This for
So professional.
professional technology, right? So I took down some notes from a report that I read from the World Maritime University. Okay, you can see the caption here. World Maritime. Okay, the title of the report, if you are interested in reading it, is Quantifying an Inconvenient Truth. Basically talking about seafarers adjusting their work hours in order to comply with MLC inspections or whatever inspections that they have. And just zooming in on whatever you mentioned just now, this survey itself, we have actually 6,000 validated responses from seafarers, right? When they talk about reporting to the company of non-compliance in terms of work and rest hours, a lot of them actually mentioned that informing the company on this non-compliance leads to questioning on ship's work and rest management. So that question will fall on the master, the chief officer, right? You tell them that, hey, I don't think they have enough rest. They will question your capability on managing the crew, right? And this is according to the report, and I'm not plucking the figures or facts from the sky. 49% actually say that the company will instruct the ship to adjust the record of work and rest hours, right? And okay, this is something that's slightly a bit more positive. 22.4% of the seafarers actually say that the company will provide additional crew members.
Mm.
And
That's encouraging.
yes, and that is actually quite a bright light we see.
Yeah.
Right. But hopefully the light is not too far away It's not actually an oncoming train from the tunnel. But I think I think at the end of the day, like what Captain Hari says, the very practical approach is to introduce more crew on board, right? And that kind of takes away the workload. Everybody gets enough rest, and maybe in terms of mental health as well, that could be one of the very practical steps that helps. Yeah.
Imagine, like we were saying, smoke room, but you don't have people to fill it. I mean, we say proper smoke room culture. And then what happens? If you take all the people who are off watch, maximum you'll be scratching with 3 people over there. Really not exactly.
Yeah.
You can't even play table tennis doubles, like, you know.
Yeah. We are
So if you have a few people, there's a bit more of life
Yeah.
for a work-life balance. There's more people, there's more this thing, and there's a little bit more people. There's a community on board.
Yes,
Of course, human beings are supposed to be social creatures, right? We need to thrive on that. But if you don't have that, and then you have just the people like shuttling from coming off watch and then shuttling to their cabins and then going back because we don't have time for anything else, and just it's so clear cut that like machines. In the armed forces, I think this is solitary confinement is a
Yeah.
punishment. And are we like kind of developing our seafarers to just follow that? If we give them a few more people, it'll be so much more better, I thought. It's all down to costing and this thing, but on the larger picture, just because I think the company will be spending so much more on getting mental health and all these other kind of patches, when if we just kind of spend a little bit more on the proper soil over here, then the tree itself will be stronger rather than having all those. You'll end up spending a lot more trying to stick the cracks
Yes.
than actually then just having proper steel from the beginning. Something along that.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think other than physical health, right, physical safety, we also need to take into account of the mental health and mental safety. So that goes to my second question, mental health, right? So I feel that mental health is not really taken seriously, but it's getting more awareness after the COVID, where there's a lot of things that happen, we lost people. So I would like to ask for the mental health question. Do you think the maritime industry is doing enough to combat this stigma? And what more can be done to support the environment for those struggling with mental health problems? Siti, would you like to start?
Thank you.